So there are a few different options for creating objects. First one being this add drop down here, mesh, curve, curve. These are like splines and max, and then you have knobs as well. Then all the usuals down here, camera, lights, and all the other sort of stuff. So that's just similar to the drop down and max, the create drop down. So Shift A is the shortcut for that. You get all the same options here. That's your Shift A shortcut, and then the third one is the queue, the quick favorites that I talked about in the other video, the UI customization. So you can just add in your own here just for whatever quick access. Because Shift A you still have to go up and then go into another menu. So queue for me is handy. So you'll notice as well here that I have extra mesh objects that you won't have. This quad sphere as well. These ones down here from an add-on that actually ships. It's in Blender, you just have to enable it. So just go into add-ons and start typing in extra, and you'll see here mesh, add mesh, extra objects. So I advise you to, there'll be a couple of them in there that you're used to from Max that are handy. So no reason why not to enable it. So that's pretty much how to create them. Now before I actually start creating them, it's important to go over the concept of origins, pivot point, and the 3D cursor as it works in Blender, because it took me a little while to get used to this. Still getting used to it, I suppose. But yeah, different than Max, the way your pivot point. I'm just going to show you first. I'll turn on the 3D cursor, and origins is here as well. So you see that little dot that appeared? That's the origin of the object, so it'll be in the center of your object. So it's different than pivots in Max, because Shift S is your pivots. Oh, sorry, that's your origin menu. Full stop or period is your pivot point shortcut. So this is very good because you can quickly switch between it as you model. I'll show it when I'm starting to model things. But yeah, it's just different than the Max setup. And then you also, the 3D cursor correlates to these things as well, because you can the 3D cursor, when you're creating objects, you'll see now if I create whatever, it's created at the 3D cursor. So if I move the 3D cursor over here, and it's going to be created at your 3D cursor. So if I go back into edit, it's sort of hard, I suppose, to explain this because there's a lot going on at once. So if you go into editing, you see here align to view. That's what I have it set to. I think world might be the default. So align to view obviously is I created all these snapped into an ortho, so it's aligned to the view. Obviously, just move that one over there. I'll move the 3D cursor. I'm moving the 3D cursor by holding down Shift and then right mouse button. So even when the 3D cursor is hidden, you can still move it around. If I hold down Shift, you can see at the bottom where my cursor is, that the right click set cursor, and then the right click move it, so you can move it around or just click it or drag it. And you can drag it and then hold down Control and snap to the grid as well. So I'm just going to go up to view here, and you'll see this is the 3D cursor. So you can see its rotation and its location obviously are moved around, but to get that back to 0, 0, 0 in the world here, you can just use that Shift S, and you'll use that a lot modeling in Blender, and then cursor to origin, and then it's going to reset itself here. So I'm just going to rotate, and then I'm going to create again. Now remember, we're set to create from view, and now you can see it's parallel to screen space here. So but still creating it where the 3D cursor is, but in screen space. So I'll just delete all of these. I'm just using X to delete. Usually you're going to get a confirmation pop up there, but I have it set. If you go into your preferences, you can set look for the delete hotkey and open the rollout, and you can turn that off so it doesn't keep asking you to confirm. You can also use the delete hotkey, but X, I use Control X as a shortcut in Mac, so I just use the default X here in Blender. So you can see our 3D cursors off out in space. And if I go back into, it's already open, go back into preferences, and I'm going to set that to world. So if I create an object now, even though the 3D cursor is off kilter here on its rotation axis, it's gonna come in world space, Z up y across x. It's going to be aligned to the world no matter what way the cursor is rotated here. It'll always face correctly in the world. And the other thing to note as well, you can still create in the views here, the orthographic views in world, but the thing I like about view and why I use it primarily is because it'll actually create it facing your view, so up and front, left, back, the same. It's going to create it facing you, rather than if you have it to world in the orthographic, it'll always be facing up and the Z axis. So I'll just delete all them and Shift S, and just to reset that 3D cursor. So the other thing as well, I'm just going to switch this back to world for the moment just to demonstrate this. If I create a cube, and for whatever strange reason I've just noticed that it seems to be a weird sort of a bug or something, like even though I've switched over the world here, it's still creating view. So I think it's a bug, because this last one, 3D cursor, this has only been added I think in the last week from what I can gather. So because I've never seen it there before, so maybe there's some sort of bugs when they introduced that. It's messed up the other ones. So if you're getting weird behavior, that's the reason. I've noticed it there. Even when I created from the quick menu, it was different than when I created from the Shift A menu. So I'm putting it down to a bug anyway. But I'll put this back to view just to show this example that I was talking about anyway. So I'll just snap into the top view, create a cylinder, and now I'm gonna hold down Shift, and then you can drag the 3D cursor, and it's gonna snap. It's snapped to the surface of that cylinder now. So if I create another cylinder, remember it always creates objects where the 3D cursor is. So now it's created on that, and it hasn't created it on the surface, because remember the origin. If I turn off the 3D cursor, you can see the origin is here. That's the center of that object, and that's the center of that one. So that one's created it from the center onto that where I had the 3D cursor. So it might all seem a bit crazy, but in Max, the way you can just drag out your primitives or whatever, and you can just drag them wherever you like. Well, I suppose that's where the 3D cursor, and I have that just here as well. Drag it to wherever you like, and then you can set your rotations here. Just drag over the three of them, hit 0, and then I'll switch it to 3D cursor now, because the 3D world seems to be a bit broken in this one, but it does work the way I was explaining it. So we'll try the 3D cursor now, and now it's creating, because I zeroed that out. So if I drag it over here, create a cube, it's off. It's aligned to whatever way that cursor is rotated here, because I'm just dragging it around here in screen space. Whereas if I create it in here now, it's in screen space there, and this has more or less been, when you drag it around an orthographic view, you don't get all those crazy numbers that you get when you drag it in screen space. So I hope that Shift S to origin, I hope that makes sense. It is actually quite easy when you get used to it. Like, that's why I just always leave this a view, and then I just snap into my views, and you can't really go wrong then. And similarly, I'm going to be dragging around this cursor in the view, so wherever I drag the cursor to, it's always going to be aligned. So so that's what I find handy anyway is just leave it on view. Basically is so you'll just hit delete there, same as hitting X. So that's pretty much what I do, because frankly I don't see any reason to do it in the other views when it makes the most sense to do it in view and just snap to an ortho. And also then if that 3D cursor is doing your nut, you can just turn it off, and then like you can still hold down shift and right click, and then it's going to be created wherever you do that. So you know, that's sort of a way of not having to have that visible all the time. So as long as you remember that the origin of the object here, from what I can tell, it's mostly used for I'm just going to get rid of these, for the likes of symmetry. So if I create a cube, and then I just go into edit mode, Control R, and then you can click to drag that, and then just right click then, and that'll center it up. And then I'm just going to delete these. So I'll just delete these faces, I'll just delete the verts. So X, delete verts, and then I'm just going to you have to add modifiers in object mode. So I just have my mirror here on my quick menus. So you can see like that's where the origin is here. So that's where the symmetry line is for the mirror modifier. So I'm just going to go into modifiers, and I'll just delete that modifier. And now where the 3D cursor comes in, if I just bring it back, the 3D cursor now is on the origin. So if I shift, right click and drag, and then I can snap it here, and now I can press shift S and object origin to cursor. So now you can see the little dot, and now if I add that mirror again, it's the origin is here. So the mirror, that's the plane of the mirror. I'll probably go over that in more detail, but that's pretty much how you can get the origin moved around. If you go into edit mode, select a vert or a face or an edge, it'll pick the median point then. So now I can go shift S to select it, and now the 3D cursor is here. And now if I go back into object mode, which you have to do unfortunately, and then sorry, that's the pivots, and then hit shift S again to bring that up. Now you can go origin to cursor, and you can see now the mirror modifier is updated there, and it's flipped in. So I'll just go over that quickly again. So I'll choose this vert, shift S to select it, go out of edit mode into object mode, shift S, origin to cursor, and now it's back there again. So that's pretty much how you can do that. And as I say, you can do it with edges. So shift S to select it, and then the same thing, back out of edit mode, shift S, origin to cursor, and now the origin is centered around that edge. So I'm trying to find add-ons or scripts, because in Max I just have a single hotkey, boom, and maybe pivot point just goes to whatever I have selected, the median of it. So that's how you can do that. So in future videos, I'm going to show. I'm just going to shift S, put that back to the origin. So I'll show how. Sorry, not that menu. The full stop or period. These are your pivot. This is your pivot point. This is really important when you're modeling, but I'm going to show that in video. So at the moment, the pivot point is 3D cursor. So if I scale something, it's going to scale to the 3D cursor. And then you can choose all these different ones. So individual origins, median point, active element. Active element is a concept in Blender. The last thing selected will be the active element. So I'll show this stuff when we get into the modeling videos instead, because I'm trying to keep these short enough, these videos, so there's not too much jammed into one. So just while we're on the subject of creating objects, I'm just going to show real quickly. In Max you can shift drag to clone, or you can right click and then clone from the quad menu. Well, in Blender you just do it's Shift D, and then it starts to move in screen space automatically. So you can either right click to cancel that, and once you do that, then the object is bang in the middle here like a clone in 3D Max. So you could press G then to start moving it. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to clone it again, or duplicate it. Sorry, Blender just crashed there in the middle of that. So but remember, it's still beta, like, and doing all these videos, it's only crashed, I don't know, twice, something, a couple of freezes here and there, but not too bad really. So I'll go back into that again. So select the object, Shift D, and then it's in free grab mode pretty much. So if you right click, that sets it down, and that's where it is. And then notice that this modal sort of box pops up, and that's one thing I forgot to mention. Creating, which is very important coming from Max, I suppose, is when you create a primitive in Blender, you'll get one chance to change the parameters. In Max, like, you know, obviously you have your stack, and you can keep those parameters and change them at any time, but you have to set them here. And the same with any of these models. Before you click off here, you set up how you like, and then it's destructive. Then you can't change it after that. Think of these, I suppose, like when you're using the extrude or chamfer or anything in Max, when you're using it with the dialogue, and you just set it as you go, and then it's destructive as well. You commit to it, and that's it. So see, duplicate here, I can click linked, and that means it's going to be like an instance. But an interesting thing is you can link anything at any point along the way. So if you create an object, clone it as a duplicate, then you can, down the line, you can link it materials, or just like you can with instances in Max. So I'm going to leave that for a moment as a hotkey to just create a linked object, but that's where you can set it, and obviously you can move it or offset it here. So I'm going to lock that in. Then you can press G, and then the usual then Y, just to move it then. So I'll just X out of that, and you can also do it as you duplicate it. So I could just press Y without having to cancel out of it, and then Shift R is just a little tip. It's repeat last, so Shift R, then it's just gonna do that. And also then obviously I can start moving these G, Y, and then hold down Control, and it's going to snap perfectly there to the bounding box, because these are exactly 2 meter cubed, and our units are set here at a meter for each grid. So if I did that again, I could press Shift D, start to move it, press Y, and then type in 100, and it's after moving back exactly a meter. So I must have created this from the back, because that's going negative. So if I had went minus 100, it would have went the other way. So the other way to create them as linked objects is Alt D, and it's the same thing. And I'll just press Y, move it, press, and you can see here linked is already checked. So that was just one other thing I wanted to while we're on the subject of creating objects. So I'll delete this, and I'm going to create a cube and show you what I was talking about. Now here's the, it has generated UVs. Here's the size. Cube's not a great example, so I'll choose a cylinder, and now you have the amount of segments, UVs, what it's aligned to. You can have no cap, triangle, fan, n-gon. And that's pretty much like creating a primitive in Max. You get your parameters. The only thing, as I say, is it's destructive, so you click off it, now that's it, that's gone, that'll never come back. So just be aware of that. And I think I'll leave the video with that. That's enough fit into this one. So just any questions, I suppose, below, because it's probably confused people more than than I've helped them. So hopefully it was helpful. So see you in the next one, hopefully. Cheers, thanks, good luck.